Goldsmith, Assistant Chair of the Art Department here at UW Parkside, and I'll be the moderator for this next segment of the creative presentations and performances. And this morning, our first student author is Jamie Kranig. He's here from UW Parkside. His faculty sponsor is also here with us, Dr. Maria Martinez, right here in front. His presentation will be poetry, and the title is This is a Promise, a Modern Literary Compilation.
As he said, my name is Jamie Kranig. First off, I would just like to say happy birthday to my mother. She sadly could not be here due to work, of course. But I am taping it for her. So thank you, Mom. I wouldn't be here without you, literally.
Good point.
But on with the show. All right. To die is an honor, and to have honor is worth dying for. That is a phrase that I have held so dear to myself. I have based my life upon this. I have led one hell of an interesting life within the 26 years that I've been alive. I'm a cancer survivor. I've been married and divorced before I could legally drink. That was fun. I have done drugs. I have attempted suicide. And somehow I've survived all of it. And I've kept notes along the way. And that's what This is a Promise is about. It's my notes from the past 14 years. Through every single up and down, everything good, everything bad, and everything in between. My writing has always been my escape. This is a Promise is my diary, my salvation, well, essentially it's just me, in every sense. I will admit that just about 90% of the book is rather depressing if you read it from cover to cover. But at the same time, it was because I put so much emotion into my writing, and I put all of the bad things in my life into words that I was able to carry on. So pretty much the darker the writing is within the book, the more it helped me from day to day. And that's where the title came from. This is a promise. The book is a promise to myself that no matter what obstacle I face in my life, I will be able to overcome it. I will be able to persevere, and I will be a better person for it. The first piece I would like to read is called Presence. I quiet the leaves to hear the wind speak. It talks about nothing other than the horizon it chases. Time speeds decay, just as it does our youth. The bitter cold air of a frozen desert looms. My hands ache with stillness, and this pen reads thought, useful or not. The breath of luck only strikes once, but it only takes once upon a time to live this way. It's hard to blame the sun for its distance. A fire can only burn so close without destruction. How a man finds truth is what makes time. And the words will come if you give them your patience. Ethereal mindsets placed in disarray, set in languish, the earth awaits its turn. Seeking sustainability cannot be done alone. An animal knows nothing other than how to survive. This next one is called Sleep in Silence. He spoke to himself. It's about trusting in yourself and the regret that you can feel by not doing so. And in case you haven't grabbed one, back there, there's a handout with all 4 pieces that I'm reading tonight. If you have not grabbed it yet, grab it on your way out. I just figured it would be a fun thing to remember or follow along. So once again, this is Sleep in Silence. He spoke to himself. I am finally asleep, at last, dreaming of the future, past. Living as I should be, with no tongues piercing like daggers. There is nothing greener than a secret envy. And when I woke, I threw up all the words that I had choked down. There was so much to say. Oh my, such a somber sense of self-reassurance I do possess. In a single moment, shock, awe, and disgust became the words of choice. In an instant, all of our stoic attributes fell to the floor. A false sense of comfort creeps into my heart as I stand there, finally free of the words that I feared for so long, but horrified at the truth that I had hidden inside of my gut. So awkward is the silence I stand in, alone, after saying such things. And just as I had awoke, I fell straight back asleep, like no life had passed, like no love was lost. I'm right back where I started. I'm awake in my life, but my life is nothing else but dreams. There are a lot of things that we tend to get caught up in these days, whether we want to admit it or not. I hear a lot of people complaining about all kinds of things, be it a past relationship, or a teacher giving them a bad grade, or pretty much anything having to do with Scott Walker. I've noticed that people are great at pointing out the wrongs in others and the iniquities that they see in each other. But when the finger's pointed back at them and they're forced to look at themselves, they don't see it the same way. And they don't really judge themselves by their own standard. They make themselves an exception. Which, that's what inspired this next piece. It's called A Cause for Concern. Every day gets harder to speak up as the miles keep the secrets. We must hold fast, we must keep the faith. The lines get blurred with every passing moment. One false truth leads to another, and soon honor is just another word. How can we claim innocence when we are but sinners? I fear that we may be losing hope. Hope for a better world. It all starts with you. Your words bring meaning to a caustic society. This is all for you. As long as you hate, there won't be any of us left. Humility is an art, and the world needs talent. If the brave hold fast, then we may have a chance. A perfect world is nothing but a picture of our collective hearts. If you have any questions about any of the pieces or anything relating to writing a book, which I really could have used advice when I was writing it, so I will offer as much wisdom as I possibly can. Just tap me on the shoulder, get my attention, because I'm sure I'll be aimlessly wandering around for the rest of the day. My book, This Is a Promise, a Modern Literary Compilation, is available online at UW Publishing, also along with my new one, which would be 6-7. It should be available on my website, which is www.jamiekranig.com. That should be up in probably about a week. So, again, if you have any questions, just let me know. The final piece I would like to share is called The Title of a Revelation. It is one of my oldest pieces, and yet every time I read it, I find it hard to believe that I made such inspiring words. And I know it sounds somewhat narcissistic, but my own words constantly inspire me. Not all of them together, of course, but just these in general. It reminds me that I do have a chance to be more than myself, and that I can be more than the sum of my parts. Yeah. Apparently forgot the last one. But again, this is the title of a revelation. The only knowledge of life is true, and the wise recognize their mortality. With nothing to stop the living, except the instance of not, the world becomes your heart. Truly, the center of everything to oneself, but nothing to the selves of others. To make thine eyes known is to show one's soul with no regrets. I have no need for history. The past is come and gone, but the present shall be here with me forever. For as long as I live, my faith shows me hope. The hope of never having a future for the sake of history. Thank you.
Thank you.